All right, guys. Hey, we're starting here in about 2 minutes here, or less. 2 minutes or less. Just get yourself something to drink. Do what you got to do. We're going to get cranking here. Very excited to have you on. And we're just going to let people come rolling in here as we go live to go over pretty much everything you need to know to fix all your traffic problems the way I understand it. So give me 1 second. Just fill up my water and we're good to go. All right, we got Jeff Barry. What's up, Jeff Barry? Everybody say hi. Hey, do me a favor real quick as we're starting here. Just tell me who you are, where you're at. How's the weather where you're at? Because in Chicago, it's still gloomy and cruddy, and we got to go make the best of the day. I'm getting ready to 75, huh? 75 in Hollywood. Probably gets really cold there all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to get rocking here. Let me share my screen. And for those of you who wonder, is this live? Yes, it is. It is. It's March 8th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm here with you. And I see Peter raising his hand. I see people raising their hands. Just go ahead and make a comment. We're going to share my screen right now and get rocking and rolling. I have some really, really amazing stuff to share with you. No matter where you're at in your journey as far as being in the health supplement business or food business or expert business or whatever business you might be in, this is going to be a lot of fun for you. So let me go ahead and flip this up. At any time you can ask a question. I'm here to support you. And make sure you get a great experience. If you have questions, post them in the Q&A. I promise you I will answer your questions by the end of it. I see we got Christian, Brian, Brett, Kurt, Dee. What's up, Doreen? Doreen, sneaking in here. Gilo, Jason, Jeff Barry. We got Nick, Osahan. Maria, Peter, RG, Renvir. What's up, Regan, Sam, Scott, Spiro. Spiro, you're on like all my calls. Could be the same calls for all you know, Spiro. You're saying the same things. So we got a nice crew here. I'm going to get diving in because there's a lot of cool things to share here. And we got some case studies I'm going to walk you through. So the goal of this is whether you sell supplements, foods, protein, powders, whether you're doing paleo, keto, low carb, or any other fitness products, health products, nutrition products. My goal by the end of it is that you get to see a pretty specific layout using online marketing, using the traffic channels that we'll talk about and the experience online on how to fix your traffic problems. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're struggling with getting customers online, leads, or becoming profitable. If that's where you're at right now and you're spending money on advertising and you're losing a lot of money, it's because you are doing something wrong. I totally get it because I've been there. I think a lot has changed over the last year and a half, even last 6 months, that has created opportunities, but it's also shifted on how things that we did 6 months ago are different than the way that they are now. So if you're losing money, it's just because you're not doing something that is working, okay? And in my belief system, there's never been a better time to be advertising on Facebook, YouTube, or using Instagram and other online channels, no matter what anyone is telling you, okay? I hear experts out there sharing, get off Facebook, do this, do that. Like, what are you talking about? It's never been a better time to target your audience and grow your audience and grow your brand and sell to customers and build the business you want to build, okay? So if any of that relates to you at all, this is for you because first, you know, like, let me tell you first why right now is the best time to be buying tons of traffic, which traffic really is. You should write this down because it'll shift your thought process on it. Buying traffic is really easy. Getting targeted visitors to your site is a different story. And so you should be buying from Facebook, from Instagram, from YouTube, and Google Display Network. Just to give you kind of an idea, like here's your Facebook growth rates and consumer spend. And you know, like it shows just even from like 2020, it's just growing, and you're seeing the amount of money people are spending in this medium. This is not going to change. If you actually look at it, it's only progressively growing. 700 million users as of April 2017 on Instagram. I think you're looking more like 800 plus now. And the one thing I'll tell you, it's worth writing down. A lot of Instagram experts will tell you that a lot of the people on Instagram are under the age of 30. That's really true. We have a lot of my kids, like, you know, my 13-year-old is on Instagram. And, but the other reality is that consumers who are on Instagram are some of your best purchasers. So even if the amount of people on Instagram is not as big as some of the other platforms yet, that whole medium really has a way of creating great buyers. So our ad spends are extremely profitable on Instagram. So this is what I call the perfect storm or holy grail. Look at this, the growth rate of Facebook. You got YouTube is growing. And a lot of the biggest advertisers left YouTube a year ago. So the cost per clicks and the ability to target really specifically is extremely profitable and exciting right here. And then you go to Instagram. I already kind of addressed that a little bit. But then one thing you got to look over here is that you look at Facebook Messenger. If you guys are on Facebook Messenger, you'll notice there's ads in your Facebook ad stream right now. There's 1.2 billion people on Facebook Messenger. This is growing as well. When I see these things growing, this tells me it's just opportunity to learn and to be ahead of everybody else. The amount of video and audio that's being used for online, it shows that 89.3% is video and audio. And we're finding that video is what's killing it as a way of building our audiences and educating our customers. I'll talk more about that as well as we go along. The other part of the perfect storm that we want to combine is influencer marketing has jumped to the forefront to the point where some of my friends who are launching supplement businesses, food brands, they're not even doing paid advertising as their primary strategy in the beginning. They're doing influencer marketing. And I thought that was crazy until I saw some of these results. Daniel Wellington is a company that sells watches right here. You see that? And they're fantastic at Instagram. And here's the story about them is that they just posted $1 billion in pure profit utilizing influencers and Instagram. So is it possible that you can combine all of these things that I'm talking about and you can grow very, very rapidly? The answer is absolutely. And you also have a secret advantage that 99% of your competitors are absolutely, totally, and utterly clueless about, as well as other online advertisers. So while the amount of advertisers is going up, that's not a bad thing because it's not a bad thing at all. Is that we are going to be the few who understand what's going on. And at the end of this training, I'm going to give you a special invite to a few of you, not all of you, but a few of you, to join me in Atlanta at the Spanx headquarters if you want to get more training, okay? So it's a 2-day intensive on how to drive millions of dollars a year or even month to any health consumer brand using cutting-edge traffic. I will be co-hosting this with my good friend, Jesse Itzler. If you don't know Jesse, he was the co-founder of Marquis Jets. He raised $12 million and partnered with the founder of Zico Coconut Water, and they sold that to Coca-Cola for a lot of money 2 years later. He's also the co-owner of Atlanta Hawks, and he's one of the first investors, along with myself, at No Foods. And I'll tell you a little more. I mean, he's married to the wife of who founded Spanx, Sarah Blakely, and so that's why we can use Spanx headquarters. And it's pretty awesome. So we'll show you exactly how to start, scale, and profit with online traffic generation, whether you're sending traffic to a VSL, a lander, or directly to an e-commerce page. But I want to stop right there, and I want to go into this training here and give you some examples of something we're doing right now just about a month ago, my team took over an ad account for a fast growth, disruptive health brand who was struggling with their ads. And the day before we took over their ad account, you could see the spend. They spent $1,100 pretty much, and they were generating around $3,000. Now, for some of you, that is like phenomenal. You would take that day in, day out, right? But the reality is this company is trying to grow to be a very disruptive brand. So they need to have high top line revenue. So $3,000 a day is not going to cut it for them, right? So we took over their Facebook ads, and in a matter of just a few days, 5 days later, we spent $17,000. We generated $52,894. That's a 2.99 return on ad spend. Okay. In 14 days, we spent $99,351. We generated $239,000 at a 2.41. And in 3 weeks, when you combine them all, we did $198,000 in spend and generated $414,000, 2-to-1 return on ad spend. Now, one quick thing to note is as you scale your campaigns, your total return on ad spend, especially if you're looking for fast growth, the return on ad spend is going to drop a little bit. That's just totally typical, something normal. And for most supplement brands, you should target like a 1.3 to 1.4. If it's your own company, you're not paying anyone else commissions. As a minimum, listen to me on this, as a minimum target return on ad spend. Okay. And in the last 7 days, just to show you, we're still cranking away. We spent $120,000, generated $172,000. And then, how do we do that? Okay. I think I skipped that. How do we do this? Right. Well, we're using video ads. Some of them are product ads and some of them are educational ads. And then we use custom and lookalike audiences. Okay. And then we use what's called the double down method. So I'm going to show you some of this right now. I'll show you examples of video ads. I'll talk to you a little bit about building your lookalike audiences. And then I'll show you the double down method, which is actually not called the double down method, but I'll explain in a second. So let me skip that one. The best part is this isn't rocket science. And whether you are a beginner or intermediate or advanced, it absolutely works. The best $1 billion example of the speed of how some of these things can work for you is if you look at like the Dollar Shave Club. And the Dollar Shave Club came out, they created this video and they had, like it went viral for them. But a lot of these videos, what most people don't realize is they become viral when you add advertising to them. So it's really not a good business model to try and create viral videos in and of itself, because that's not how you grow a brand. You grow a brand or you grow a consumer business by having the ability to turn advertising dollar into profit, right? Now, this one is a rare example. It totally took off. Now, this one here, right down here, Dollar Beard Club, that's my buddy Chris Stoikos' company. They're another example of a company that spent $800 on a video ad, and they ran the ad, and it generated over $20 million in the first year. And Gary Halbert used to have a saying that you're just one sales letter away from solving all your financial problems forever. And I like to challenge you with, like, you're just one video or one ad away from solving all your customer acquisition problems online. And I'll explain that more in a second. Now, just like any business, you can't just send things to, like, you can have great videos, but if you don't send them to something that doesn't convert, like their whole business was start with a free trial of a razor. And they were able to build up a huge audience and grow very, very rapidly. But they also were able to grow because people liked the razors and they stayed on the continuity club, which then that's why people would want to buy them. So there's a couple big takeaways right there. Now, one of the biggest things that I like starting with before we even look at traffic and we look at campaigns is the concept of who's the one person that I want to serve and what is their hell. And it doesn't always have to be a hell, but you want to, like, think about your product or service or whatever the thing is they're going to promote, your supplement, your protein bar. And if it doesn't solve a problem that either solves a big angst in somebody's life or helps support something that's very, very, very important to them, and it's not a good quality product, you're going to have a hard time growing your business. Okay. Because the opposite of what I just said was, if you're able to create a product that has a messaging behind it that serves a specific demographic ridiculously well, and your messaging communicates to them that you understand their problem better than anybody else in the world, it becomes very, very easy to sell to that person. In fact, you're not selling as much as you are allowing them to buy and servicing them. So in the second part of this, just so that you're fully aware of like, well, Ed, I don't want to sell only to one person. Well, I want you to flip your mindset. You're going to see a couple diagrams here in a minute and a couple examples. Is that each one of these videos and each one of these ads are targeting one demographic, but then has potential to go outside that demographic. And I've always been somebody, and you can write this down as well, is if you can't sell your product to one person, you'll never be able to sell it to 100,000 people. Does that make sense? Is that if we can create a messaging around one perfect person, well, that person probably has 5 or 6 people just like them. And then you just add zeros to that. So if there's 5 or 6 people, there's probably 6,000 to 10,000. And then we can go to 60,000, even 100,000 and more, right? So the old model would be, hey, we're just going to send visitors to a video sales letter. And hopefully our traffic guys will send enough clicks to that video sales letter and a certain percentage will convert and we'll make money. And the new model is a little bit different, in my opinion. And is that I believe that the funnel has what I called flipped, meaning your job as an online marketer, whether you're selling an e-commerce product or foods, whatever it might be, supplements, protein bars, powders, doesn't really matter. The flip has happened is that your job is actually to create value early and position yourself as an authority or your brand as an authority. And then you use the platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Google, native advertising to build audiences. So, in the old days, we used to lead generate, right? And then we use that list and people used to tell you like, hey, there's money in your list. There's money in your list. Well, it's harder and harder nowadays to get open rates on email, right? And then the other thing we used to do in the old days is do Facebook-like campaigns to build your Facebook fans. Well, the reality is that everything nowadays is pay to play anyway. Facebook's not going to give you a lot of free reach, right? We're seeing that with companies that relied on just just organic traffic. They're all going out of business, right? So we use paid advertising to build our audiences. We use pixeling to build lookalike audiences. We use our customers to build out custom audiences. And then we use the power of retargeting to generate really, really high return on ad spend marketing campaigns. And then the goal is to drive those buyers, both cold buyers and existing buyers, to a product page or sales letter or e-commerce page. It really doesn't matter because we're doing all of that and it all works, okay? But one thing that's shifted dramatically is that nowadays is that the higher up this ladder, the easier it is to get people to convert. Is if you look at like the company like Jessica Alba and The Honest Company, they were able to take her being a celebrity, and then they were taking they went into, I think, the organic market and everything natural. And all of a sudden, in a very short amount of time, they went from zero to a multi-million-dollar a month company, like rapid speed. And that wasn't because people viewed her as like this huge expert. No, she was a celebrity, and she got on every single high-level national. She was able to get on all these shows, talk about her new thing. Now, can we do that? Well, I'll show you a couple examples of guys who are positioning themselves as specialists, and through audiences, they build up their own personal celebrity ship. And when that celebrity ship kicks in, fellas, your ability to build a really, really big brand it happens faster than you ever thought possible. The other thing I would say on this is that the use of influencers, you could borrow celebrity ship because people who follow people on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, they view those micro influencers as celebrities. So you get the same kind of effect. So one of the quick little things you could do is say, what are the 3 ways we can improve each category of this? We got our experts, we could be a specialist, and we could be a celebrity. And it's one of the exercises we do with all of our clients. Before we talk about traffic, you need to understand that there are 4 pillars of a fail-proof business online. And the first one is what I call a profitable new customer generation machine, selling a product that people love to a rapidly hungry, hyper-responsive market. And the last part's really, really important, that is preferably growing. So we don't want to be selling things to like a market that is getting smaller and smaller, okay? And hyper-responsive means we're looking for people that are willing to pay, and they're not as difficult to sell, okay? Here's a great example of like Sean Hadsdale, how he uses this positioning matrix I just showed you to build a nice, really nice business. Is 6 simple ways to control your number one hunger hormone, right? So he's calling out people that have a problem probably with their cravings, right? And you can read the whole thing. Here's 6 simple tips to easily curb your cravings and avoid late night binge eating with that will completely sabotage all your weight loss efforts. So here's a little thing. He's got 6 or 7 steps. It's only a minute long, 50 something seconds long. Drives them to a squeeze page that targets people over the age of 40. Right now, what's really cool about what he's doing is inside of some of his comments and questions on his page, he's creating more video. Does too much protein damage your kidneys? Well, if you go back to my little hierarchy sheet, what is he doing? He's positioning himself as an expert. By answering questions, he's positioning himself as a specialist. And the further he goes up this ladder, the more of a celebrity he's going to be appeared by to his audience, right? And if you look at it, like look at Brendan Bouchard, look at Russell Brunson, all these guys, including myself, utilize information and value giveaways. So the reason we give away free books is not to just because is to build our audience, right? And to position ourselves. So if somebody buys the book, reads the book, they're more likely to become a customer of us moving forward. Russell Brunson's built out a gigantic software business called ClickFunnels off the back of a book. And so this is something that applies in every single market. My friend Tom DeLauer, who's going to be speaking at our Atlanta event coming up, does, let me just pop this up real quick. You guys will love this. So here's like a Facebook video ad that he does, right? Give me 1 second as it starts to render.
One thing you have to remember before I let you go in this video is that difference between a low carb and a true ketosis diet.
What is the difference between a low carb and a true ketosis diet? That's what he's talking about. Well, why is he doing that? Because I bet with 1,000% accuracy that that's probably one of the biggest questions his customers have. So in doing so, he instantly credentializes himself as an expert and a specialist on both those diets, okay? You don't need to know whether he's a doctor or not. You don't even know if he's a nutritionist or not. If he can speak the language and answer the number one hell, then guess what, folks? He's going to be perceived as a true expert. Then he sends them to a landing page just like this one here.
For years, the sugar industry has been lying to us, telling us that fats are bad. They wanted us to believe that sugars and carbohydrates were the way to go, so we all believed them. Well, a lot of the research is now showing, including my own independent research, that fats are not bad.
So, I mean, that's another great example of going against the counter, like he's being counterintuitive. And so he's utilizing his platform. So then he's selling an info product just to kind of give you an idea. And then he sells supplements on the back end from there as well as other products. Okay. So that's just one model. Do you guys see, just comment yes inside the thing if you see how he's utilizing just basic level positioning and authority, but also do you see how you guys can use the same things in your business? And then there's on his order cart page, he's got a nice little video reassuring people when they buy. Let's see who commented. Yeah, we got Jeff, we got Trevor. Okay, we got a few people. Yes, thanks, Gilo. Yes. Gilo was on yesterday. Gilo, you notice I'm doing things a little differently than yesterday? So anyhow, keep it up. Appreciate it, guys. All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, so now this is another gal, Dr. Nancy. I love Dr. Nancy, man. She's one of my favorite people. So this is like a great example of a video that's positioning a brand and a nutrient.
And today I'm going to help explain why everyone seems to be so obsessed with turmeric nowadays. This ancient spice has quickly migrated from curry dishes to top of the food chain superfood status. Today, it's being added to everything from cold-pressed juices to bone broth. They're even putting it into chewing gum and ice cream. Starbucks has jumped on the bandwagon too, rolling out their new turmeric.
All right, so you get the idea, right? So now what's really cool about this is that if you look at what she's doing, she's educating people. Now, in a moment, you're going to see a chart that I create that's going to show you like the different levels of sophistication and why you create content like this or sales videos. This is a pure sales video. It's a pure sales video. When they're done watching it, she's got links to it. You can see it right here. Let me go back to it real quick. Let me just bring this up. I got too many tabs open. 45,000 shares. Can you guys see that over here? Can you see that? 9.3 million views. So if you ever thought like, well, Ed, how do I become a celebrity? How do I get our brand out? You use the power of Facebook video and YouTube video, and you use advertising behind it to drive this type of engagement. That's how you build a mega brand super, super, super quick, right? When you click on it, you're going to go to a simple basic lander that has a video that reassures people, and then it goes through the benefits of the product. Okay, this is not difficult. I think I saw, if Doreen's still on it, the stuff that Doreen would do for her direct mail clients, including myself back in the day, is way more difficult than what I'm just showing you. This is easy, okay? You just got to get your head around it that you could do it, okay? This is the type of stuff that has to happen prior to understanding paid traffic. Not meaning like you have to have it all done. You just got to understand that, like, hey, we can send them to a landing page. Now we're going to get a video, and I'll go over some of it here in a second, okay? James, just stick with us. I think you're in the meat of it right now, buddy. So then, like, here's my buddy Drew Canoli's business, right? Organifi is a company that sells a ton of green juice. And Drew does videos like crazy. Let me see here. I'm missing this little link, trying to get it up for you guys.
Chlorella is absolutely one of my favorite. This is matcha green tea. That's not chlorella. Chlorella, this is ashwagandha. Where's the chlorella? If you've ever been to Whole Foods with me, then you know I'm the guy that's obsessed with superfoods.
Okay, so now this is a great example. 22,000 shares. So the amount of free advertising he's getting because people are sharing it is off the chart. 4.4 million views, and then you go through it, and he clicks you right through to his site. Great positioning for his brand. If people watch that, they're more likely to buy, and they're people that they're already speaking the language, right? So 11 superfoods. Let me see. Here's the actual ad. The 11 superfoods you should eat every day. Well, for all of us, whatever you're selling, there's nutrients or there's things about it that you can create, like the 3 XYZ you should eat every day, the 5 things to avoid every day, and then you could position your product with, within it. Does that make sense? So then he does it for this one. He sends them to a cheat sheet. That's a great strategy. Somebody was asking about claims about one of their products because it's in the disease market. Well, create a cheat sheet that gives away something free and value that allows people to not have to, you don't have to sell the product if you're too worried about disease claims. Drive them to a nice giveaway. And these work great, by the way. These work better than ebooks. PDF downloads, infographics. Those things work way better for lead generation. And here's the funny thing. You don't even have to get a lead anymore. You could just retarget that person and capture them that way as well. It's another pro level tip. So and then one thing I want to point out here with these guys one last time is, for those of you guys who have studied a lot of sales copy, this does not have a ton of sales copy, right? This is value benefit driven sales copy, but it's not a lot of it. A lot of the sales copy is done in the videos before they ever get there. And it's done in a very value driven positioning way. Okay. So let me go through, I promised I would go over this. Okay. So this is kind of that. And then I want to go over the 6 key metrics that drive all your decisions, right? So when we start running advertising, the ad is going to be one of the secrets, right? The ad and the click-through rate of people engaging on these ads, if it has high engagement, you're going to have a lower cost per click. So these are some of the key indicators of whether the ad is giving us a good result or not. But the reality is that I want to just clarify something. On my next slides, I'll create it. But you want to have a high click-through rate on a buyer intent video or a buyer intent ad, because click-through rate and cost per click are not indicators of return on ad spend or cost per sale. The quality of the intent of the person who clicks is, okay, which will lead to a higher conversion rate. So the big metric that I look at that's bigger than these 3 are my cost per sale or my cost per action. So if I'm looking for a sale or acquisition, new customer acquisition, which what we're doing, we look for cost per sale as our big metric, okay? And then on the other side of the funnel, from the advertising perspective, the big three things I look at are average order value and return on ad spend, okay? These are the things I look at daily, and I kind of showed you that on the one chart when I was showing you examples. And then globally, as a company, you'll look at repurchase rate, but not out of the gate. So it kind of looks like this. You'll get click-through rate, you got cost per click, and in the middle sits this thing called conversion rate. And the reason I put this in the middle is because conversion rate is really showing you the quality of the bridge between your clicks and your ability to turn the clicks into a customer, which then brings in return on ad spend. So then I look at the big metric number one is cost per sale, and big metric two is average order value. So that is, just to kind of give you an idea, what we work on daily is more right here. Our conversion rate, which we're working on better creatives, which will improve our click-through rate and our cost per click. But mostly we're looking at cost per sale, average order value. And if I average order value, I'm just trying to drive that up, which I do through upsells, which I do through certain types of pricing that gets people to buy more up front. That'll give me a better return on ad spend. So if you have questions on that, feel free to ask. I'll answer it once I get back to it. The coolest thing and most exciting about this is that the magic wealth skill is turning this advertising we spend on Facebook, YouTube, Google Display Network into profit. So now this is where we start blending in the traffic, right? And the big secret for pulling all this together is, number one, I've kind of gone over this, I'll go over it again, is you choose a hyper-responsive, highly insane market that is growing and spends money on solutions. Number two, you communicate a message that motivates them to believe that you can solve their problems. Number three is that you have to acquire specialized skill sets that give you, yes, you, the listener to this right now, I'm speaking to you, you got to acquire specialized skill sets that give you the power to do this. Now, for many of you, if you read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he says, like, an educated man is not necessarily one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated man is one who has developed the faculties of his mind that he may acquire anything he wants or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. Now, where I would take it one step further is that your job is to identify the people or the certain things that will create specialized skill sets within either yourself or your business, okay? And how to apply this is this. Let's say we're going into a market of women over the age of 45, okay? And we want to pull out the people in this market so that we can build up our custom audiences, which are pretty much our buyers, one-time buyers, multiple buyers, higher buyers. Now, you guys all know this. I might be talking above your head a little bit, but you guys all know that. I got someone pinging me on Facebook, so I'm getting rid of it. It was actually Ezra. You can take your customer database, like step one. Okay, let me go back up. Step one, if you're just trying to start out on Facebook or YouTube or Google Display Network, you can take your existing email list and your customers and upload them into Facebook. You guys know that, right? And you create custom audiences where you can market to those people. And then you can build out lookalike audiences based on, you know, whether they're customers, whether they're multiple purchasers, whether they're higher transaction size customers. Those are all good audiences to build out, okay? But when you start advertising, you create this thing called different types of lookalike audiences. And the VV95 is people that are video views. So they watch the video of yours, more than 95% of it, or a video view of 75% of it, or a video view of 50% of it. And you can build up all these audiences and then market your advertisements just to these people. Or if they viewed your product page, or they viewed your cart, or if they've added to cart. Those are all audiences that you can start building up. Now, the way you build these up is you create content and you create video, like pitch videos, very similar to the ones I've already shown you, that answer a simple formula that I call why, what, how, okay? There's more than this formula. You can use it as like one video about why, one video about what, and one video about how. But let's say you're targeting an audience of women over the age of 45, and the audience is like, say, 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million. In that audience, there's going to be people that have different levels of understanding of what your product can do for them, or their need for the product. Like, why would they even be interested in a product like yours? So I'll give you a couple examples. So like, let's say we're selling gluten-free waffles. Well, my why videos would say why gluten-free diet is great for people who want to lose weight, or why 90% of women over 45 are vitamin D deficient. So women in that category over here who are wondering why, like they're looking to lose weight, they don't even really know much about the gluten-free diet. Well, guess what? That video may strike a chord with them. And then that would bring them into like, well, what kind of foods do I need if I'm going to be gluten-free? And how do I go about creating a kitchen that supports my gluten-free habits, right? And so you could create content this could be one video that's like 5 minutes long, or this could be 3 separate videos that are all 1 minute long, and you just retarget to that audience, right? Whoever watches this video, you then serve them this video. And then if they watch that video or that video, you can serve them this video. So that's one way of doing it. You don't have to do it exactly that way, but that's one way of doing it. If you look at the what videos, look at this. You got 3 gluten-free breakfast recipes for a fat-burning diet. Best high-protein meals that are gluten-free. 12 of the best ways to get your vitamin D3. How to plan for a vacation with a child who has celiac disease. That might actually go more on the how. What are the best tasting gluten-free, dinner, snacks, and whatever it might be for kids, right? And so if you go back to this audience, all those topics are going to pull out different people and some overlap, but different people in this audience. So you want to create multiple content videos like that also drive conversions. And then how? So we do a lot of product ads. So here's a gluten-free waffles, 20% off, and people buy it, or buy one, get one free offers are great. Well, only people in this demographic or in this area who are already interested in buying gluten-free are going to buy a product offer. Does that make sense? Whereas people that have no clue what gluten-free is, or why they need it, or why they should, they're not hyper responsive. Does that make sense? So that's why you need to educate them more. And then the last thing I just want to show you is like, you could do all 3 of these in one video. So love pancakes, ? Why you need to eat gluten-free, grain-free, dairy-free, and guilt-free pancakes. What you need to know about no foods products. Here's how you can get them. Okay. So this is how these are good content chains. Do you guys like this? I mean, do you see how you can apply this to your brand pretty easily? This is not rocket science, but guess what? This is what Tom's doing. It's what Drew's doing. It's what Dr. Nancy's doing. That's growing their brands pretty darn rapidly and building an amazing following. So far I've shown you like some expert or specialist authority spokesperson layouts. What's up? What's up, Skelly? And then you lay out a 90-second to 4 to 5 minute video, and then you create a Facebook video ad or a Facebook ad, whatever it might be, that drives them to a sales page with upsells. So this is something, frankly, if I was going to be totally call you out on all the excuses you might be making, this could be done in a matter of 7 to 10 days that could easily grow a multi-million-dollar business. So if you're not doing any of these, or if you're doing some of them but not all of them, go ahead and get crazy and get started with them, right? It's just really, there's no reason not to. So this is one of those things we started applying to our business that's allowed us to scale our Facebook ads. And one of the things that we learned this. So Ryan Skelly's on. He just jumped on. He drives most of our Facebook traffic. We got one other agency, which I'll show you something different that they're doing, and I'll show you why what we're doing is working better than what they're doing. We learned this from Tim Bird, B-U-R-D. And he called it the shotgun strategy that you combine with the surfing method. And the reason why you could use this is one of the things that Skelly and I were talking a lot about was, hey, we want to scale our campaigns, but most guys were teaching to just scale your budget every single day by like 10% to 20%. And the problem that we were running into, and I think the problem with that strategy is that Facebook has volatility in it. Like the algorithms change. Like, so one day your ad set might be profitable and the next day it just might be around break even. So how do you know when to really grow and boost up your budgets, right? And so when I learned this from Tim, Ryan and I had a conversation. We're like, we got to try this right away. I think at the time we were spending like $3,000 a day, and very, very rapidly we were spending close to $7,000-9,000 a day. And since then, I think we've spent over $20,000 a day, almost every day for about 40 something days at profit. I may be off by a little bit on that, but I don't think I am. And this is the strategy that we use. So this is all hypothetical right here. This is the example that, Ryan said I'm really close. But it's pretty, like, we're right on to that. And anyone would take these type of results. But this is what Tim shared with us. And so we do something a little different. And I know Skel will probably chime in here in a second. But let's say you have a target budget of like 10 grand a day. And so you have one campaign, but you have 40 plus ad sets inside that campaign. You set each ad set to a budget of like, say, $400, okay? And you're like, well, Ed, that's like $16,000 a day. You said just spend $10,000 a day. And the reason is because you're going to see how we optimize during the day. And the reason why you do that is you need to set high budgets and you have to have lots of ad sets because you need to get Facebook sending you traffic for the data, okay? So this is what it looks like on Tim's. We do it slightly differently, but this is a good enough example. With 40 ad sets, you would pause the worst performers between 6 and 8 a.m. And what that looks like sometimes is like, so let's say you have 40 ad sets. Some of your ad sets might just stink that day. Like you may have zero conversion. So out of the gate, you're losing like a couple $100, or even like $100, but you're like 2 to 3 times more than you're willing to spend per sale. And you just know that ad set needs too many extra conversions to make up for its loss. Again, you got to remember, Facebook's an algorithm, it's a program. So just pause it, okay? So you spend like $4,000, but you need more data. So around noon, you pause anything that is not break even by now. And now the one thing on this is if it's not break even, but you're within like a shot of an act, like if one more sale came in on the next click, you would be over break even. I think we let those run a little bit. We have a little gray area in there. And so you've spent, like, say, $6,000, but you need more data. So around 3, Scal, don't we do it at more like 4 to 6 p.m.? I think we're more around 4 to 6 p.m. is when we go in there. But here's the big key, and this is what you got to take note of. Peak traffic time is after 4 o'clock on Facebook. And I'm gonna keep moving on that a little bit. So you can put as many notes in there, Ryan, as you want. You pause anything that's not profitable. Like, so at that point of the day, you stop all things that are not profitable. And then you're currently left with, say, 15 ad sets maybe, and this is your profit. I think the one thing we do that's a little different here is we'll increase the budgets on any of the ad sets that are over 2 to 1 return on ad spend. And so, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. And here's what's freaking crazy, guys. So by doubling down your ad spend on the profitable ad sets, you're able to drive all your profit in the last 3 to 4 hours of the day, okay, or even like 5 hours of the day. So what's cool about this, especially if you're somebody who bought like email traffic in the past or even like direct mail, because Dorian's on the line and some other people are in here. What this is really amazing about this is that you're not allowing like 4 to 5, hi Dorian, you're not allowing like 4 to 5 days of like things fluctuating on you to make optimization decisions. You're allowed to freaking do this like real time. And it's a secret, because what a lot of people panic about when we increase our budget, say from 5,000, like 10,000 to 15,000, we had to get Facebook to lift our ad account. And the company we're working with right now got really, really nervous. Like, well, wait a second, guys, before we allow you to spend 25 grand a day, we need to get approval. And we're like, what are you talking about? We were already spending like 15 grand a day at a massive profit. So it was like, this is not like we're borrowing 25 grand. You don't have the volatility where like I've done newspaper ads where like, 1 month you're at a 1.7 and then the next month you're at like a negative, you're at a 0.9. And it's like, well, you can't make up that month, right? But on Facebook, you can make up, like if your morning sucks, you can hedge your risk and increase your profitability by utilizing the strategy. So what I just want to share with you guys is that this is the kind of stuff we'll be sharing at the 2-day intensive and a lot more in depthness. I mean, I think this is really, really specific. I mean, seriously, if you leave this training today and don't come to Atlanta and you just do what I showed you right here, this will put 5 to 10 grand in your pocket this month if you execute on it. I promise you. Now, here's what the day parting looks like. This was the account that we run, and this was an account that the agency runs that is running traffic for the same company that we're helping. And you'll see that their spend is from 6 a.m. to, they're spending most of their ad spend in these hours. And then it just drops off. Well, here's peak traffic time or peak buyer time, and less than half their budget's going here. Or if you look at ours, like here's in the middle of the night, it's very low, 6 to 8 a.m. This is where it pops up at the beginning, drops around noon, and then here we are at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So this is where we're spending the majority of our budget. This is where other people are. I would guarantee you, if you're struggling with your Facebook ads, look at your day party. I guarantee that's a little bit of your problem. Before I tell you about the event, that's crazy, right? The other thing is that one thing that we are doing that's different is we're splitting out our Facebook to Instagram and versus Instagram. I had a slide on this. I don't know where it went. And so one key thing is if you have ad sets and Ryan, am I saying right? Is it ad sets that it's huge right now that you're utilizing both Facebook and Instagram targeting in the same ad set, you got to split those things out. Okay. Split them out. And the reason is, guys, you got to remember, like the inventory that Facebook has is different than the inventory that Instagram has. Okay. So split those things out and you'll be like gangbusters. You'll be a pro. I mean, this is pro level stuff, fellas. Just go do it. It's not rocket science, but trust me on that. This is the stuff that's made the biggest differences in what we're doing right now. So if you like this, then stick with me as I want to lay out, give me a few minutes. I'll answer any questions that you want me to answer. But if you like this, what I'm showing you, then stick with me for a few minutes as I lay out exactly how my team of experts can take you from where you are now to getting these types of results at a quantum speed. And I'd like to invite you, like we have like 5 spots left, to join me, Jesse Itzler, and the world's best Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and native media buyers in the world, and all around traffic generators to a 2-day health traffic mastery and marketing mastermind at the Spanx headquarters. Like this is a picture we were at Spanx last year. Whether you sell supplements, foods, proteins, powders, whatever you are, keto, paleo, low carb, or any other fitness products, every guest speaker I invited here are in the trenches, proven big-time media buyers. They will only give action-packed info. No fluff, no hype, no theory, just 100% proven, tested, and up-to-date material. In 1 second, I'll walk you through each speaker and why you must be in the room, but you won't get this by not attending, or someone just asked me about recordings. We're working on that, Andrew, and a live feed is something else we're working on right now. But I don't have approval, or I don't have total confirmation on that. Okay. Here's a rare invite to be one of the first. And then we originally opened this up to 25 extra people. We're currently at 70 attendees, but that includes my mastermind members. So we opened it up. My mastermind is around 40 plus people, and we opened up 25 people. We're down to 5 spots to get trained by the world's best Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and native media buyers who are using these platforms on a daily basis to join me in my Platinum Mastermind, along with 5 other more spots for health entrepreneurs to get these types of results where you spend $120,000 and you can get $172,359 with a 1.43 return on ad spend. And for many of you, this would be just a grand slam of having 4,700 new customers to your business. and experience a massive unfair advantage. And the other thing I would say about this is just a Facebook screenshot. This is not even including the 10 grand a day we're spending on Google PPC as well right now, and experience a massive unfair advantage. And most important is you can execute with complete confidence that you are using strategies that are working right now. There's nothing more frustrating than to be buying Facebook courses, YouTube, Instagram, and these courses, and to feel like they're already out of date because things are changing so rapidly. And if you want to make a bigger impact with more people while making more money and getting your products to the masses immediately, whether you want to improve cash flow, drive profit, or scale your business to someday sell it, add new traffic sources to your existing business, or gain distinctions that will change your life forever, or my favorite, have total time freedom and financial freedom so you can live the life you've dreamt of living. I mean, in Atlanta at Spanx HQ, for the first time ever, for this traffic mastery intensive for health supplements, products, bars, powders, experts, courses, etc. It doesn't matter. You'll get in the trenches, proven examples, templates, step-by-step strategies that will work immediately. So let me tell you like the lineup. So first and foremost, I already told you about my friend and mentor, Jesse Itzler, okay? And people are saying to me, Ed, Jesse doesn't drive traffic. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But he was the guy who raised $13 million for Zico coconut water and helped it sell to Coca-Cola 2 years later. So if you're looking for a smarter guy or better guy or bigger thinker, you're not going to find many. He's also the guy who discovered the founder of No Foods that I'm involved with and helped raise another $12 million to get it started for fast and rapid growth. But before Zico and No Foods, he started a private jet company that collectively did over $5 billion in sales before selling to Warren Buffett's company NetJets years later. The best part of all this is, and why it should inspire you, is he didn't know a thing about these markets before going into them and disrupting them. This is your chance to literally hang out for 2 days, learn from, ask questions, and through literal osmosis, think 20 times bigger than you currently are by being in the Spanx environment, by being with Jesse and all my mastermind guys in this group of speakers that I'm going to tell you more about here in 1 second. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Speaker number 2, good friend of mine. And I mean, Ezra's probably the closest one to having any guru status right now, but he is a literal strategist and tactician. He's a co-founder of Boom by Cindy Joseph, a cosmetic and anti-aging line. Ezra's team has taken the brand by Cindy Joseph from literally zero to now over 20 million a year. Ezra's going to walk you through how to grow your brand using both direct response marketing and a combination of branding, yes, branding, using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Display Network. How to integrate Facebook Messenger into your funnel store and in your retargeting to capture immediate sales and build a strong relationship. And lastly, the magic of Facebook video ads for celebrity-style businesses like Boom, as well as product-driven brands, plus much, much more. Ezra, I'm actually giving him the most amount of time on stage from a flat-out keynote speech because his company's literally going to walk us through all these video ads, pre-sales, retargeting, and he's just awesome. So speaker number 3 is Jason Kurtzke. Jason runs the fastest growing Facebook advertising company in the world called Straw House Media. And so he's going to talk to us about how to optimize at the $50 million a year spend or more. I think his company actually did a few $100 million on Facebook. But him and I had a long conversation about optimizing with attribution and looking deeper into the relationship with the advertiser or inside your business that goes beyond just what do you call it? Just the day-to-day click-through rates to conversion rates. Like how do you optimize for the global picture of a business? And so it's Straw House sales grew 3,034% in the past 2 years to well above 50 million, earning the company the number 1 spot on 2017 Startup 50 ranking of Canada's top new growth companies. Now, here's the thing I just want to point out here. You don't get that type of growth without creating value for your clients. And that's exactly what he does, and it's really, really exciting. He's an amazing guy. You really will learn a lot from him. Speaker number 4, James Van Elswick. James is another guy that we took a lot of stuff that he was doing from a perception of scaling rapidly. He did this great presentation I saw called How to Scale from Zero, like 25K a day. And again, like me and Skelly talked about, we're like, dude, you just got to apply this because some of these guys come from the affiliate world and the pay for performance world. and they just know how to think differently. So he's going to talk about scaling rapidly, as well as native advertising and how to set and forget your traffic sources using sources while also scaling using native advertising. James grew Purple Leads from buying media himself to 7 media buyers and 25 total employees that buy traffic on 5 different sources, spending 7 figures a month in just 10 months. Now, his best day, he spent over 100K, and he continues to spend big and earn big on both native and Facebook ads. Now, the funniest thing about James, which you'll learn about, is he actually in Israel moved across from Facebook's headquarters as well as Tabulla's, which so he can get access to the 2 reps in there. Tom DeLauer, you saw a video of Tom, and so I'm going to have Tom be there to talk about how to create videos that influence the magic of influence and sales architecture using video, and the secret to creating better long-term value customers by using video. So you'll love Tom. He's great. Speaker number 6, Google Display Network, Google Shopping, and YouTube expert, Brett Curry. Now, Brett has 8 kids. I just always say about Brett. Brett beat me by 1. I have 7 kids. Brett has 8, and what a beautiful family. Fantastic guy. I can't wait to have him there. But Brett runs all the Google Display and YouTube for Boom. And so I've known Brett for years, and I'm in talks with him about doing the same type of work for one of the brands that I'm currently working with right now. And I want him in Atlanta to talk to everybody about why you need to be using multiple channels when doing advertising, right? And so, but it gets better from there. So let's keep going here. My buddy Jeff Austin. Jeff is he's one of my best friends, and he'll be talking about push notifications and how to add $3,000 to $10,000 a day using push notifications. Jeff generates 70,000. I put 70 million. That's not 70 million. 70,000 leads a day from Facebook, direct to site buys, co-op, and affiliate marketing. You're gonna love Jeff. One of the best guys ever. Speaker number 8, Ryan Skelly. Ryan's on the call right now. So if you have any questions for Ryan, pop them in there. How to spend 15 to 25K a day running straight to an e-commerce store with your health product. Now, I've known Ryan for years, man, and Ryan is in the trenches making magic happen on a daily basis. And so you're going to get, he'll be there for 2 days, maybe even 3 days for all I know. And you'll get any of your questions. You can come up, ask him, and he'll walk through how we structure our ad sets, how we run our campaigns, and how we optimize. So you'll have an opportunity to meet Ryan and get to hang out with him. Speaker number 9, how to create highly leverageable influencer relationships, promote your brand with Ross and Rachel. Now, these guys are great. So they're they run a agency called Trill Media, and they really enlightened me as to the power of how influencers are pretty much not taking over, but how you can use influencers to grow your brand really, really fast, and then how to integrate paid traffic with your influencer strategy. So you're going to get a ton from them. It's pretty amazing. So Rick Steele, number 1, number 10 speaker, but he's actually our first speaker. How to go from 0 pretty much, but 885,000 his first year to over 80 million in just 10 years while completely disrupting a gigantic market. And actually, after I did this, he said to me that he's on track to do 100 million this year. So he'll walk us through his big picture branding process and how you bring it all together with paid advertising, PPC, affiliate, radio, et cetera, et cetera. Rick's an all around badass, amazing dude, good father, good husband. And then you got myself, Ed O'Keefe. My job, I have a few videos I'm going to send out to the group because I actually pulled myself out of a couple speaking spots. But I'm going to go over what's working now for selling health products online through e-commerce, video, strategic relationships, and affiliate marketing. All those things still work, and we use all of them. So I can't wait to be there. There's a few other speakers that that I probably don't have time to talk to you about right now. And most recently, we launched a customer acquisition and media agency designed to help fast growth rate nutritional food companies scale rapidly. So I'll be adding more speakers over the next week, but you want to wait for this final roster. As this is going to sell out, you don't want to wait for this final roster. I can't promise that you would attend our event and get the same exact results that we're getting. That's not totally fair. But I can tell you that the strategies that we're utilizing are going to be laid out for you, and it's going to be pretty amazing. The last thing is that Nick Shackelford is going to be there as well. He's a guy who I was introduced through James Van Alswyk. He's a media buyer that scaled a company from zero to multiple millions in less than 32 days. And the owner of the company that he works with is going to be there as well. They're going to do like just kind of a 30-minute dialogue on how they're doing it, how they're structuring their campaigns. It's going to be ridiculously amazing. There's also another guest speaker, I'll call him Mr. X right now, who just sold his company for $200 million. It's $200 million bucks. And he'll be there doing a keynote as well, sharing how he did all of it. And then I got my main man, Jesse Itzler. And, he's married to Sarah Blakely. I can't promise that Sarah is going to speak, but I would say that a little birdie told me that there's a probability she will come down and visit and answer questions. So this will be 2 days filled with unparalleled traffic, and more traffic for generating customers to your health business. March 27th, during the evening, we'll have a dinner and a party. And what's the investment? Well, it's $5,000, and you could break that up into 2 payments of $2,500, or you can pay in full and save $500. And I know it's not cheap, but then again, like, you don't want cheap if you're looking for success, do you? This is literally your shortcut, your leapfrog to the top opportunity. Or if you're struggling, this is your lifeboat if you aren't getting enough customers. There's no refunds, as you can tell, and it's taken me like 40 minutes to explain the lineup. The value will be there. It's 100% on your shoulders and your responsibility to go crush it. And you're not gonna be left alone. You're gonna leave with a network, a database, so many great people. And this slide says only 21 spots. It's not true. There's only 5 spots left, and we literally are almost out of space. Like, literally out of space. I got to call Jesse to make sure that we can fit more people, even after we get to these 5. And this is going out to my entire list. I promote on my Facebook page. I'm doing a Facebook Live to an audience tomorrow, and we have other people promoting it as well. So it will sell out. So anyhow, you got 2 choices. One is you can go out and try and save money and do everything on your own. Or number 2 is you can invest in this one-time event and be literally given the exact processes that took many of us combined decades to figure out. So what to do now? Well, that's it. You can ask a question. I'm happy to answer them. Enroll today and reserve your seat to rub shoulders, learn from, mastermind, and build your network with these amazing entrepreneurs. One last point I want to share with you is there's 2 things that I've done in my life that have worked really, really well for me. And number 1 is I always decided early to invest in my education. Okay. I knew that if the more I invested in consultants, courses, seminars, that if I became smarter, the output of my results would become better. And the second thing that I knew was that, but I knew it, but I didn't know the importance of it until now, being an entrepreneur 12, 15, 17 years later, is that your Rolodex really is your true wealth and your relationships. And so if you want to build your net worth, you got to build your network. I know it might be cliche-ish, but how do you expect to build an up-level, quote-unquote, your consciousness and your network if you're hanging out with the same people and you're going to only the same events every single year? You got to kind of break out of that and get into, give yourself an opportunity to, learn from other people and be in a great environment, great environment like this, and learn specialized skill sets. So that's it. Let me see if I have any. Sarah just posted the link. It's at timecollapsing.com/Atlanta. Timecollapsing.com/Atlanta. And I got a few minutes to answer some questions. Kurt Nelson asked, hey, you're just sending traffic to commerce product pages, 1 to 2 pages long, nothing like a sales page. Yeah, Kurt. So let me answer that. So I have 2 businesses that I'm involved with that are running straight to e-commerce pages successfully. But the examples I also gave you, like the ones with Tom DeLauer, the one with Dr. Nancy, the one with, like Dr. Axe, he's sending people to a webinar, right? So what I want to if you use kind of the content structure that I'm showing, and you're targeting a market that has a pain that you're solving, some of the things that you're doing, like it doesn't have to be super complicated and super long, okay? We still make sales on a daily basis, sending people to VSLs, but it's definitely not what I'm focusing on. I'm definitely focusing way more on Facebook video ads, retargeting, building audiences, and identifying markets that want to buy or identifying products that have huge markets that people want to buy. And that's really if you actually rewound this, if you ever listen to it again, what I just explained is actually so super simple, but it's not, and it's not totally easy, but it is easy. It's like kind of weird. So Skelly said he'll be there for 3 days. Definitely do the dinner the night before the event with anyone who comes. Don't miss out people. The event will be breakthrough. Trust the people in the room. Yeah. So the other thing I can say too, like there's not a lot of questions coming in. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of you still on the call. So James Jacobson. So I don't know what time you're talking about. I'm in Central Standard Time, so everything I do Central, if that helps at all. What's up, Jeff Berry? Yes, got to run. All right, see you, bro. Kurt, yep. All right, so if you guys have any questions, I'm here for the next minute. Happy to share. If there's questions coming in, I'll stick around. Oh, yeah, Eastern Time. Yeah, so Brian Rasmus asked the importance of Facebook messaging in your business. So the answer to that is very important, Brian. And with one of the companies that I'm consulting and we're running traffic for, phase 1 is definitely not Messenger, okay? I would consider Messenger to be a phase 2 activity. And the reason being is because if you can't – well, first of all, it's another complexity to set up, okay? Like Facebook ads, drop to a Messenger, do an autoresponder. It's a little bit of a different model than Facebook video ad to a e-commerce or product page that sells the product, and then we have upsells. Okay, it's a little bit different thing. So I would prefer to say, hey, look, drive people, like try the first thing I shared, and once you get traction, the second part should be Facebook Messenger. Ezra's going to be at the event. Ezra does a ton of Facebook Messenger and is retargeting. Push notifications, man. Brian, okay, here's the deal. Here's what Jeff Usner told me. He said that he's cracked the code on push notifications, and that you should add them to all your product pages, and it does not decrease conversion rate. So when you're there with him live, or if you show up live, or virtual, whatever it might be, Jeff and I are really, really good friends. It's great to be face-to-face, and here's presentation. Okay, another question just came in. Let's see what we got. Okay, hopefully that helped you out. Okay, any other questions, guys? Going once. So, hey, come join me in Atlanta if you want to be a part of this. We'd love to meet you face-to-face. We will know in the next week or so. After we sell this thing out, we'll look at the other options of how you could learn whether it's live or Facebook Live or not, but that is definitely something I would not rely on if you want to be there live. Sarah, is there anything I'm forgetting? Ryan, anything I'm forgetting? All right, guys, thanks so much. Cool. All right, you guys are awesome. I'll leave that. Where to stay? Well, once you register, we'll get you all the hotel information. The Hyatts, I think the Grand Hyatt's actually probably where I'm staying. So room blocks at the Grand Hyatt. So hopefully that helps. Some people are doing Airbnbs, blah, 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 since we're not staying at the hotel. So, all right, thanks, Kilo. Appreciate it, man. You guys stay cool, and that's it. I'll leave this up for a couple minutes, so if you want to click through, we're good to go. Have a great day.